With this video, we'll be dividing by a single digit number, and in the end we're not going to have any remainder with this one. Everything will be used up. So it's one of our simpler long division type problems. So we'll start right away with the hundreds place. This is the hundreds place right here. And we're trying to find out how many hundreds can we give to each group, knowing that we want to make 3 groups, and knowing that we want all the groups to have the same amount up here. So in order to do that, I start thinking about the multiples of 3. 3 times 1. If I was to put a 1 up here, I would get 3. That's pretty close to 5. If I was to put a 2 up here, I would have to have 6, and I don't quite have 6. So I'm going to end up putting 3 times 1, which is 3. So you'll see that on the next slide here. Every one of these 3 groups gets 100. That's why the 1 is right over the hundreds place. Now I still do have 2 hundreds left over. I had 5. I handed out 3. I still have 2 left. And these 2 will get handed out. They just get handed out when we do the tens here. Alright. So in order to hand out the tens, we're going to bring down that 2. So we have 2 tens. Now we have 22 tens to hand out. These 20 tens here. And then these 2 tens here that we had from the beginning, for a total of 22 tens. Again, I start thinking about multiples of 3. If I was to put a 1, I would get 3. That's not even close to 22, so I know I'm going to have to go much larger. Maybe I'll skip ahead to 4. Again, I only got 12, so I need to go larger. 3 times 8. If I was to put an 8 up here, that's 24. I don't quite have 24 to hand out, and so I'm going to go backwards, back to 7, and probably we'll put 7 here. If you do know your multiplication tables, this goes much, much faster. You don't need to be guessing or estimating or anything like that. So 7, each group gets 7 tens. I put it right over the tens place. That means I would hand out 21 tens. 7 to each group, 3 groups total. 21 tens handed out. Now I still have 1 10 left over then. I have 22 tens, handed out 21, I have 1 left. And we will hand out that 10 when we hand out the ones. So in order to hand out the ones, we go ahead and bring down that 2. I have 10 ones here from before. 2 ones that I had at the beginning, for a total of 12 ones that I need to hand out. Okay. So again, I start thinking about what are the multiples of 3. If I was to put a 1 up there, I would have 3. I can get closer to 12 than that. If I was to put a 2 up there, I would get 6. I can get closer than that. 3 times 3. If I was to put a 3 up there, I'd get 9. And here is 3 times 4. I get exactly 12, just what I have. So I'm going to end up putting a 4 there. So I have a 4 up there, and everything is handed out. There's no remainder, nothing's left to hand out. Just like we said at the beginning, this is a picture of it. Start with 522. And we have 3 groups, and they all have 174 in them. Mathematically, this is a chance to see it right here. 522 divided by 3 is 174. If I'm dividing in this direction, I should be able to start with 174, go the opposite direction, and come back and do the opposite operation. In this case, multiply. And that's what you see here, 174 multiplied by 3 gives you 522, just the opposite of what we did up here. Alright, so this is dividing by 1 digit with no remainder.